how's it going? Welcome to another episode of
Mum
and Son. This is Jay.
I'm Alicia.
So today we're just going to be talking about another topic to do with life and reflecting on it and so on and so forth. Hopefully give you guys something positive to leave with, like we do on all of our other videos.
Yeah.
Make sure you check them out if you haven't. So today's topic is going to be about
Rejection. That dreaded word, that dreaded feeling.
It's almost when you hear it, you feel like the stamp with the red thing, and there'll be a piece of paper or something. It's like rejected, boom, and it goes down.
With that red word.
Yeah. So it's almost like you hear the word and you start to just already feel dread or feel like there's something you want to avoid.
Deflated.
Yeah.
Absolutely deflated.
And I mean, breaking it down and looking at it, there's different ways to look at it. There could be rejection going on with you're trying to find a job or a different career path or want to achieve something and you're being rejected, you didn't get it. There could be things with relationships and you're being rejected from having that or finding love or something to that effect.
Or rejected by a partner or someone you really loved and they don't love you.
True, actually, yeah.
There's that
exactly
side to it,
So I mean, talking about it and looking at it, how do you feel most people, when we go through rejection, how do you feel most people sort of feel when this type of effect it has?
I think it is one of the hardest things to experience. And obviously, by all means, we're going to experience it in many different ways. And, you can just feel so deflated as if you're worthless.
Yeah.
Like if you go for a job, like a job interview, you really feel, I did really well. I'm going to get that job. And you come out feeling so jazzed. And all of a sudden you get that rejection letter. You start to question yourself. You start to think, I'm not good enough.
Well, that's actually true. I feel sometimes you could find it that the rejections we go through, sometimes we even use that and make it our ceiling. Yeah,
and we start to define ourselves by that rejection, because we start to feel, wow, if I got rejected and if this is what people think of me, then maybe it's true. Maybe I'm not good enough.
Yeah. It's like
job-wise, that can happen. Even in relationships, if you were in love with someone and your relationship, as far as you know, was going great, and all of a sudden they say they want to break up, and you feel you've been rejected. Gosh, it's like the end of the world.
It can happen like that. And do you feel sometimes that we may put too much? I guess, like, looking at it, sometimes the things that we get rejected with that hurt the most are the things we really wanted or we really felt were going to go for us.
Yeah.
And when we get rejected, is it the fact that happens that's the worst thing, or is it how we choose to live or carry on with life after that? Maybe sometimes making the rejection bigger than it really is and starting to, as you said, define ourselves by that rejection.
Yeah, I think with rejection, it's really important to give yourself a sense of how you're going to deal with it. I think that's the key thing. How am I going to deal with it? Obviously, everyone deals with it in a different way. Some people can, it can wash over them. Like, I'm going, it can even, do you know what? Sometimes rejection can make people think, you know what, I'm going to go for this more.
True.
It can motivate you in some cases. Some people find rejection motivates them, which is a powerful way to deal with rejection, I reckon. But, most of us, trying to overcome that rejection is what is the hardest part of dealing with it. And I think one of the key things I think with rejection is, in whatever area, you still got to understand that where the rejection originated from is from someone else, not you. That rejection is someone else's perception of you or someone else's view of you. But it must not define you. You must set your own, standards
Yeah.
or abilities or goals, and you can either, as I said, some people use it to say, well, if I got rejected, you know what, I'm going to go for this again. I don't care. Some people think, I'm not going to go for this again. You know, I feel really bad. I've tried so many times and I've not had any success. And then, you know, you don't want to let that aspect of rejection take over and blow you out or prevent you from going forward. And I think one of the key things is to understand that it's someone else's perception, it's someone else's view.
Yeah.
But you can't take that on. You
That's
have to
true.
come from a place of, okay, I understand what they think of me, or I understand how they feel about me, but at the end of the day, I can still go on. I can still go forward. I can still go on to achieve my goals. I can still go on to find another partner.
Yeah.
That rejection must not create limitations for you in your life. That's what I would say.
I think that's really true, and it's almost like once you let that rejection define who you are, or as you said, someone else's perception become your perception, you almost start viewing life through not even your own neutral stance or what you feel may be right to you.
But someone else's.
That's
dangerous.
Exactly. And that is dangerous.
Real dangerous.
When you do that, you're never going to feel secure and have a core there that you always know who you are, regardless of whatever happens. You're always going to be jumping and, okay, so this person thinks I'm this, or they've rejected me here because they didn't think I was good enough, or like something else. You could, if you take that on and feel this is what's wrong with me because that person said it, or something like that, or I'm not good enough because this person said this, you're going to question yourself. And to some extent, I'm not saying this always happens, there may be things where you say, like, you know what, I've had a few people say the same thing,
I can improve,
and I know that within me, this is an area that I would like to improve on because it is something that holds me back, or it is something that that's a bit different, because you can use it in more of a like kind of, you know, critiquing yourself in a positive way to go and then do something better. Or improve,
or
improve yourself. Or, you know,
it's similar to what we spoke on some of the other subjects, is when these negative things happen, if you take them on in a negative way, that's when you're going downhill. But if you take them on in a positive way, then you've got the power to overcome them. You've got the power to move beyond them. You've got the power to resist, you know. But at the same time, if somebody says something which you feel has truth to it, you can take that on board and say, well, maybe I do need to work on certain aspects of my nature, or you know, maybe they might say to you, they might reject you and say you were selfish.
Exactly.
You know,
and
so you might look at it and say, oh my God, maybe they had a point. I was being selfish. Or something.
Like if you feel that you were being selfish, or you kind of actually, like, you know, I've had a few other people say that, and to be honest, when I look at it a bit, as you said, that self-reflection of just looking at yourself and seeing that. And if that honestly does come up, or you think of a lot of moments where it does,
and you're truthful with yourself, and you feel like there was truth to that,
then
you can work on that.
But that also gives you a opportunity to work on yourself and become better. So that whatever else you go on to do, or however you choose to live life, it's almost like you're becoming a better person for it. So the rejection didn't keep you stuck or anything. You learned a lesson from it, and one that benefits you, and you've now grown to a new level than you were even doing previously.
That's fine. That's perfect. In terms of one of the ways to deal with rejection, self-reflection. You know, if you can, you know, everyone's different, but if you're that type of person that can sort of reflect on what happened and say, wow, there were aspects of that had truth to it, then you can work on that and grow.
Exactly.
And become a better you.
Exactly. And what I add to that is, if you're one of those people where the example we've given, it wasn't that type of thing, and it was like, someone just really rejected you and it just doesn't make sense, that gives you an opportunity to now, if you're feeling low about yourself or you're starting to doubt yourself, it gives you an opportunity to pull yourself back up.
Yeah, rebuild.
To rebuild and become stronger.
Correct.
In how you view yourself.
Correct.
So each one can be an opportunity to grow.
Absolutely,
in some kind of way.
It's
some
great
of them
to
may
put
tell
it
you
that
things
way.
about yourself that you never recognized.
Yeah.
Others may not do that because it's that person's problem and they just rejected you and that's the way it is.
Yeah.
But it gives you a chance to go, I'm not going to let this now become who I am.
Correct.
I'm going to make sure, as you said earlier, I now even push on further.
Correct. And redefine, you know, you don't have to feel that rejection defines you and that you got to live with that.
Exactly.
You know, it's a form, it's always from another person's perspective, but you create your own perspective in your own life. That's your power.
Yeah.
No one can take that away from you. That is your inner strength and power.
That is your inner strength and
and
power.
that's what, if you're going through rejection now, that's what you need to sort of uncover within you. That inner strength again to overcome it. As I said, there's different ways to overcome it. Whatever motivates the person as an individual, they'll choose. They'll decide what works for them.
They'll know.
But for the majority, it's a kick in the teeth.
Yeah.
And we have to try to say to ourselves, how can we rebuild ourselves from that? How can we, you know, kind of bounce back?
Exactly. How can we bounce back?
How can we bounce back from receiving hundreds of rejection letters or feeling like, oh, all my relationships end in disaster because in the end, somehow I feel really unworthy because I always seem to push the person away or you know, it always ends up with me
and that's true.
Feeling the worst out of it.
And that's true. And even when you said there, hundreds of people saying the same thing, this and that, you got to understand that even if it's been a few, like let's just say for like a job and you've applied for a few companies and right now no one's looking, something like that, or it's just the same thing, there may be a lesson that, okay, how can I work on my resume or something getting better, or my interview skills getting better? If you feel it's nothing to do with any of those things and it's just purely right now that it's just right now this is just the initial teething period of like whatever you're kind of going for, then just have faith, just have trust in yourself and understand that, hey, these may have been a few that didn't, but there's someone out there that wants to, and that's it. And, and it's almost like you have to just
never give up.
Have that belief and faith
up.
that my time is coming, so I don't need to worry or stop or doubt or give up. I just need to kind of go with the flow, and it's just a bit bumpy, but it's eventually gonna be all smooth.
And the thing is, if you let rejection get you down, then worse things are going to start happening.
Yeah.
You know, when you feel rejected, because you're going to say, you know what, I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered to keep applying, or I'm not bothered to go through another thing where I think I'm going to get rejected.
Yeah.
So you have to...
Because you want to avoid the pain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Painful,
because you want to avoid the pain
of
of that happening. But at the same time, you kind of have to learn to sort of not be fearful of going through that process if it's something that you really want, because the most amount of pain you have is becoming whatever the whole rejections have made you be, and not experiencing life as fully as you should have. That will be the biggest pain.
If you allow it to affect you to the point where you're not being your best self, then that person's kind of won.
That person,
you're allowing someone to take your power away. Because whatever they said, you've actually believed it, and you're defining yourself by what they said, not what you said, or something within you is telling you to do, but how they're perceiving you. You've bought
you're
into
basically agreeing with it. You've made an agreement now. This is what it is.
That's how I am.
And that's how I am.
I'm no good. I'm rubbish. I can't do this. I never can. Every time I try, I fail, etc. You know, so it can become a terrible cycle. So, you know, really, you have to dig deep. You really have to dig deep. You have to dig deep, understand that, listen, what they said is their view, their opinion.
Yeah.
But that's not going to define me.
Yeah.
I've got my own view. I've got my own opinion of myself. And I've got my own belief in myself. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try again. And I'm not going to allow, even, this is a good one, I'm not going to allow the past to define my future.
Yeah, exactly.
How about that?
No,
Not allowing what has passed to define your future.
Yeah.
How you're going to go forward.
That's absolutely true. And what I will add to that is just saying that every person we see who is successful in whatever industry or whatever type of thing that they do, area or sector, is they are only successful because they would have gone through rejections, but they kept going.
Yeah, I mean, you remember the what's the guy? Is it Edison? Something to do with the light bulb that he was rejected.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
rejected.
You know,
if he had given up, we wouldn't have electricity.
Exactly.
So
and
you can't give
every
up.
successful person that you see, you'll find they
was
wanted
rejected
to,
at
they wanted
some
to
point.
you know, be a singer or a rapper or something, and then or an actor. I think how many times they get rejected when they go to casting calls. But the ones we don't hear about are the ones that took it personal and then quit. Those are the ones we never hear about. But the ones we do were the ones that faced that, went through tons of it,
and in the end,
they kept going.
Yeah,
and
that's the key.
And
keep
that's
going.
So,
you know, don't allow rejection to set you back.
Yep.
Stay on your path. Keep going forward. Accept that it's part of the process. You know, we are all going to get rejected in some way, shape, or form.
It happens, as you said. It happens in life in different forms.
Every aspect of our life.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not the end of the world to be rejected. But you know what? It could be a new start.
I believe that to be true, because it's not about the rejection, it's about your reaction.
Yeah, and how you handle
because
things going
how
forward.
You react to it.
That's brilliant. I like that.
Is the main thing.
It is.
So, you know, maybe that's a little gem there, whatever you want to call it.
It is a gem, Jay. It's a gem. That's a gem. I like that one.
Both of us.
Yeah.
But yeah, so through this video you've seen, I mean, you'll take parts and bits and that, but in summary, I guess we're just basically saying, like, when it comes to rejection,
just stay positive, keep going. Don't let it bring you down. Don't let it define how you're going to perceive yourself and how you're going to do things in the future. And I think if you accept it as part of the process, you'll be able to handle it better. Yeah, it's true. And cope with it and feel that it's not the end of the world. That it can actually be the start of something new for you.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think I think
in summary that is pretty much it.
And I hope you found that really helpful and you stay positive and things like that, and don't allow any of this to stop you on your journey or path, you know. But please leave your comments below. Let us know what you think. If there's other subjects you want us to talk about, we'll be happy to do so. And I'm really glad you were able to join us. We definitely will. And if you guys want to find out about any of our other videos, then join the family and subscribe. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Yeah, we appreciate you being here. And I guess, as we say, like, share, subscribe, and all that, and all of that. But it'd be good to hear from you. Yeah. And this is MumNSon, and we are done. So until next time. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you then.